Live. Welcome, Eugene. Welcome, everybody.
Shoo! Welcome to our show, guys, and this is another episode of the Ask Willie and Eugene Business Show. So on today's show, really cool guest again, and we're changing things up a bit, and we've got some hot seat questions right at the end. Stay tuned for the hot seat questions. That's always really cool. So I actually got the idea from Jay Shetty's podcast on Spotify. If you guys have free time, go and listen to his podcast on Spotify. Really cool. But he's got the thing at the end where he does he calls it something else, like the 5 questions of something. We call it the
hot seat.
Because you're going to ask the juicy questions, and they basically have 2 seconds to answer the question. And so that's coming right at the end. Stay tuned for that. And then, then we're streaming. Willie, just maybe give a quick pop out to that.
Yeah, guys. So, like we announced recently, we're going to start live streaming to Facebook and YouTube. We were struggling a bit, but I think we finally cracked it. So, guys, if you want to follow us either on YouTube or Facebook, just go to our page, like it, and then also get notifications. Or set set the setting that you can get notifications, so you will get live. You'll get notified when we schedule these live calls. And then, if you like these episodes, like and share it with your friends. That's the only way that we're going to be building the community, and that's what the purpose of the show is. This is our give back project. We don't know everything. Let's learn from the guys who's actually been more successful than the rest of us in certain areas. So, yeah, Eugene, I think without further ado, can you introduce today's guest?
Yeah, so before I do that, I have a challenge for everyone. Not a challenge, a request. While we're talking now, go and do it now. Go into your settings and then say receive notifications so that you can get notifications. Do it now. And then like it. And then as soon as the thing's done, click the share button and say share with friends. Please. Cool, guys. So let's get into the show today. And today we are interviewing Jasmine. So I've known Jasmine for a couple of years now. And just an amazing lady that's been part of this personal development, entrepreneurial journey for many, many years. And I actually met her through Entrepreneur Institute, which is run by Roger Hamilton. And he's got a really cool personality profiling tool called Wealth Dynamics. And I used to lecture a bit on that. And then I moved over to the Enneagram stuff, like our mastermind members will know. What we use now is the Enneagram, just a school. All the stuff is kind of based on the same things. It's just a different way that they've packaged it. In any case, without further ado, Jasmine has started her own business recently as well. So she partnered with Entrepreneur Institute previously, and she's now fully on her own. I'm not going to spoil it. Let's hear it from Jasmine. Willie, pop into the room.
Welcome, Jasmine. Thanks for taking some time to coming and having the chat with our audience.
No problem. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Big honor to be here today. So, yeah. So basically, thank you for the amazing intro, Eugene, and thank you for not telling me about these hot seat questions.
It would be a cheat if it will be cheating if we tell you about it beforehand, right?
Well, you should at least tell me it's happening. Not just like, oh, you're going to be answering some hot seat questions.
Oh, Jasmine, before we go on, there's just something I want to tell you. At the end, there's going to be hot seat questions, okay?
Yes.
Wow, thank you. Thanks for the heads up.
So, Jasmine, thanks so much for taking time. So before we start off, we asked the people that we interview on a weekly basis, we call them giants, and the first question we always ask them, when did your entrepreneurial itch start? Tell us a bit more about that.
Okay, so, well, I come from a family of many entrepreneurs. My grandpa came from Scotland in the 80s, started his business 5 years later, built it to be a multi-million rand company. So from young, I started being exposed to entrepreneurship and getting excited by it, and always looking at how I could, at school, what I could sell, or how I could beat the tuck shop, what I could do to get in there. So I think it's with all entrepreneurs, it starts at that age, and then you just keep building and building, and your business grows and grows, and you get into different ventures until one day you actually own your own business.
Yeah. Wow. And you currently have a really cool business. So just give us an overview of the business that you currently have.
Okay, so my business is called Dynamic Tutoring, and throughout varsity, I was always busy tutoring just as a bit of a side to earn some income with studies. But then last year I thought to myself, you know what, this is actually my passion after finishing my business degree. Yeah, how's that? You think you're going to go into the big corporate world, and then the tutoring bit me again. And I said to myself, you know what, I see now we're in the lockdown. Parents are homeschooling their children. There's problems. People are struggling with their corporate jobs, trying to fulfill it. So I said, you know what, let me turn my passion into a business. And that's what I did. So I tutor. I have different sections to my business. So I do tutoring for children who are already attending school. And I also have a homeschooling program as well, and also reaching out to varsity students who just need that little bit extra help with their assignments and exam prep and that sort of a thing.
Okay. Amazing how some businesses fail and others scale, and new businesses start up in the middle of lockdown, and it's all about mindset and just how you see the world.
No, definitely. But I think that's the big thing about being an entrepreneur is where other people see hopelessness and difficulty, you see the opportunity.
Yeah. And it's what a time to start a business actually is in lockdown, but you were really solving a real problem, and it's just like the timing must have been perfect. But in saying that, like we know by now is everything doesn't really always go smooth sailing. What were some of the biggest challenges that you've had in launching this business whilst in this COVID period?
Okay, so the major challenge was I had zero startup capital. So I was launching it off of my own. Yeah. So I had nothing. I'd quit my job. So I had nothing. This business was a do or die situation for me. So that was a huge challenge. And also with my permanent students actually getting, because December time came, busy from October to December. Then people are coming with, oh no, I'm not going to pay you this month. The kids are off. So then this year I said, you know what? For my permanent students, there's contracts. And that's how I've gone from now, because December last year was a huge struggle for me financially.
Can imagine. Yes, but it's definitely a real problem. I was looking at, especially last year, my kids are fairly accomplished academically. And they're sitting at home and they can't do anything. I couldn't understand why the school just didn't go onto a Zoom class or Google Classroom or something like that, and why they took so long to innovate or to change. Saying that is what opened up the door for businesses like yourself to come into this space. And it's really
definitely
a problem. I was looking at homeschooling as well. I'm still looking at it because I can't have my kids sitting at home and not going through the process and then losing out 3 months of work.
Yeah, no, for sure. And even with the schools that had gone onto the Google Teams and Microsoft Teams and the Zooms and all of that, the kids are still having a struggle because, they're not being taught and taken through step by step as they would be in the classroom. So,
It actually makes you think. So last year they missed out on 3, 4, 5 months of schooling, and they still went through the same process and they still finished up all their work. Like, why is it so necessary to spend all that time if it can be done? So adversity also shows us what is possible. And that's
definitely
about homeschooling is, if I understand correctly, you can go through it at your own pace, right?
Definitely. So you have some students who are able to write their matric at the age of 16. through homeschooling because it's a lot quicker. You're not wasting your time with some art project that's not really going to do anything, or making up a song or whatever. You're actually focusing on the real work. So yes, and that just opens up so many more opportunities for you to start your varsity earlier, to start your business earlier.
And is that not the biggest?
No, just have a comment, Billy. I wouldn't be one of those that finishes mine at 16. I'll wait till the last day.
Exactly.
Yeah, well.
Tell me, so just something maybe not completely off topic, but how important is it for us to start revising the curriculum that we actually give to the children these days? I mean, currently I feel like, and this is just my opinion, we still, back in the 60s, we get trained to be factory workers, and it just kind of feels that it's not changed. Is there any changes in the homeschooling type of environment that is addressing those types of issues that we currently seeing in the school environment?
Well, one of the really great things that I've seen with this one curriculum I use called Impact, there's actually a module in there, like a subject called Programming and Electronics, which to me is so important for the way our world's progressing. Everyone needs to have a basic knowledge of coding in this day and age to actually advance in their careers. And it's so much more applicable to the world we're living in versus the old schooling system where you're taught what to think, how to do things. And I mean, you're not going to be successful today in this world if you're thinking inside the box.
Yeah, sorry.
Go, Billy.
Sorry, Gene, whilst we're on the coding. So I think it was Tim Ferriss which said, if you want to learn a skill, go and teach yourself to code. And even if you're not going to write an application for sale or for use or whatever, just the mere fact that you need to actually solve a massive problem, it actually contributes a lot to you, to your ability to solve complex problems. And I think that's quite cool that they actually build those type of things in the school program. Jasmine, do you guys have any subjects for entrepreneurship programs or something like that?
That's actually very interesting. I'm actually going to be launching things like market days and things like that for some of my students, just to get that initial introduction into being an entrepreneur and what it takes.
Yeah, that's very cool, because that's a subject I think that can be added on as well, is entrepreneurship.
Yes,
and that's
definitely.
About the homeschooling is you can actually go and select things that's applicable to you. And now it starts opening up options like, for example, traveling parents that's traveling all over. And what COVID's done is it's made it accessible to the general public, where previously it was quite a difficult thing to get into, and now it's like an open thing. There's so many open schools that you can do it through. So it's a really cool system to go through there. Jasmine, I want to chat about the mentorship in business. How important is it for you? Because you are getting mentored by William, right? William Butler.
Yes.
Guys, you can go check out on the one, I think it was the 5th show or something that we did. We interviewed William from Uprising, where he basically climbs mountains for business. Crazy. So you getting mentored by William, what is that process like? What value does it add to you?
Sure, I must say it adds so much value. I think as an entrepreneur, I think what people make the mistake of thinking when they have their own business and they start getting successful is that they have all the answers, and you really don't. Even if you are successful, there's still so much you can learn from someone who's walked that road before you and been through what you're currently going through. For me, mentorship is key in my business and to me as a person. And also what I love about Will's mentorship is not just mentoring you in your business, but mentoring you holistically and as an individual, and how you should be thinking and approaching life as well.
Yeah, because it's a holistic thing. It's not just just about the business side of things. It's also about the personal side, your emotional space that you're in, your spiritual connection, all that sort of stuff has an impact in the business.
Exactly. Yeah. You can't be successful in your business if you're not functioning well as an individual and taking that time for yourself as downtime to recharge. And that's the only way you can give of yourself in the best possible manner.
Yeah. Cool. So, guys, before I ask the next question, for everyone that's watching this show, just out of interest sake, is there anyone that would actually homeschool their children? Just pop it in the comment box and let's see.
It'll be interesting to see who's homeschooling your kids. Would you homeschool your kids? Just pop in stuff. So, like I said, I'm busy looking into it because I want to be a traveling dad.
Yeah, that's the way of the future.
Take my kids with.
Yeah, of course. No, it's so important. I think we have to restructure the way we think about parenting, living our lives, our businesses, of working. Everything needs to change now.
Yeah.
And you're right what you said. COVID's definitely been the platform for the changes we thought we couldn't make.
Yeah, definitely.
So Jasmine, so you quite big into the personal development space and mentoring and things like that. And I know that you were part of the Roger Hamilton guys and stuff like that. How important is it for you as an entrepreneur to continuously surround yourself with other like-minded people? And what does that contribute to your success as a business person?
Okay, wow, sure. So that is actually a huge question. So one of the things I did last year with Will in it was September, I think, October, September, somewhere there, is I did a 28-day program called The Magic by Rhonda Byrne. Now, this author is the same author who wrote The Secret. And that had just changed my whole life because that book talks about placing gratitude at the center of your being and just being grateful for what you have. Because I think most people, we're always thinking, oh, no, I want this, I want more. But what this book actually teaches you is the less grateful you are for what you currently have, the less you're going to have in your life. And that, just shifting my mindset to that, it actually worked so beautifully because all the toxic people in my life that I'd been wanting to get out, they just left because my vibration was on another level. And all the great people that I wanted to come into my life and to connect more deeply with, those connections just happened organically through this book. So I would advise anyone to do this journey, take this 28-day journey, because the way your life is going to change, you are not going to believe it.
Wow.
I also did that 28-day challenge. I did the Deepak Chopra one as well. I don't know if you did.
Yes. Yeah, the combo of the two.
Yeah.
Sorry, Eugene. And how important is this? I mean, Eugene, we work with a lot of entrepreneurs, and how a lot of them get stuck in the scarcity type of mindset. And, as soon as they make that move to the abundance side of things, just the different things that starts to happen and how they go into flow and things like that. Yeah, so a lot of people think this is woo-woo stuff, but, I mean, I can... say for myself, I've just recently went through an experience, and what happened was I preached, or not preached, I started doing these affirmations, and literally I said to my wife the other night, can you believe that all of this stuff has happened? She says, no. I said, can you believe it's real? She says, yeah, but you said that you're going to do that. You've actually said that you're going to do that. And it's amazing, this stuff. And,
Yeah, no, it really is magic. Like, you think when people tell you this and you've never been exposed to it, like you said, Billy, like, oh no, man, this can't really work. But it does. It is just, the power of the mind is an incredible thing.
And it also shows you that thing about being, then you become, that they talk on that 28-day challenge about. It's not about going out and then telling the people that you want in your life to be in your life and chasing others away or anything like that. And the same applies to money and business and customers and all those sort of things. But taking the example of the people that you want in your life, it's not about going out and choosing them. It's about you becoming the person that you need to be, and the rest of the stuff automatically manifests itself.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
And I've been doing quite a bit. So yesterday I was at a customer that they do a crazy amounts, I can't really say, millions and millions per month. And what the difference is between these successful entrepreneurs, more successful entrepreneurs versus someone that's less successful, you can definitely see the change in a whole bunch of things. And this is a big thing. It's about the person that they are being. Like he walks out, even before he had the money, because I've known him for about 7 years. He would walk out and they'd say, you need to pay this. And he says, or he said, yeah, just go and pay it. And they said, we can't pay it because salaries is in 3 days. If we pay this now, then we can't pay salary. Like, well, they 3 days to go and figure it out. But pay the stuff because the business needs to move forward. And that's that abundance mindset. And then you move to the scarcity mindset where it's like, no, we can't pay it. We have salaries in 3 days, so let's keep it here. And they kind of play over the whole time. So there definitely is a difference between this, between the habits and the way that they think and the way that they treat money. And that's a big part of the course, isn't it?
For sure. And also for me, what I have to really say is you cannot expect yourself to be successful when you're surrounding yourself by the people who are in the wrong mindset to you and are negative. You will not be successful if you are surrounding yourself by people with that scarcity mindset.
Yeah, lekker. So before we jump into the hot seat, one last question from my side, Eugene. What would you say is one of your most, which one of your habits contributes the most to your success in business?
Sure, which one of my habits? What I always do is I always strategize every week on ways I can improve the business and what I can do to make it more productive, and just those things, even if it's the smallest things, what can I do to streamline it and to make sure I'm giving my customers the best service possible and the ways I can improve it. I don't just let it sit and, roll with the waves. I actually actively think of ways to improve it every week. So I think for me, that is one of my key habits that's inspired my success.
Yeah,
thanks so much.
Very cool. I actually had a coaching session just before we got into the school and with one of my clients, and the thing that we spoke about is taking that time once a week to step back, reflect, and then see, okay, what am I supposed to do? Otherwise, we jump back into this hamster wheel and this art of being busy, and we just do, and we never step back to reflect and say, am I still actually on the right path to achieve my goals? Am I working on the business, not in the business? So we talk a lot about that, in the business, on the business, or it's a slogan that we hear quite often. And that's a big part of it. It's doing the work, which is in the business, and taking that time once a week to step back, or twice a week, whenever, and step back for an hour and say, cool, where are we? What is my strategy? How am I going to move forward? Talking about slogans, let's get into the hot seat. First question of the hot seat. So how this works is, first thing that comes to mind, you mention it. We don't ask additional questions about it, and you don't have to explain yourself.
Okay.
So the first question is favorite slogan.
Sure, favorite slogan. So this is a company slogan.
Motivational slogan. Entrepreneur slogan.
Entrepreneur slogan. Oh, very easy. You have to walk through vulnerability to get to courage.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's cool.
Wow. Next question. What's the best business advice that you've ever gotten?
Say yes and learn how to do it whilst you're doing it.
Yeah.
That's the Richard Branson one, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Say yes and learn later.
Exactly.
And the worst?
The worst. Sure. Wow. Where did the worst business advice. The only way to be successful is to do everything in the business yourself. You can't trust anyone else.
Yeah.
It's not so bad.
Good. Brad Pitt or Tom Cruise?
Tom Cruise.
Ah, cool.
Okay.
Last question. One person you'd recommend us be or get on the business show?
Sure, someone to get on the business show. That's a tricky one. Guys, I could have given you a whole list if I had time to prepare. Okay, someone to get on the business show. I'd say, wow, Nadia Smith. She actually has her and her husband have launched a special needs school, and a couple of businesses have branched off of that. So
wow.
I definitely say get her onto the show.
Great stuff. I think the reason we ask it impulsively is that's the person that you connect with, where if we do it, because there's quite a few things about that, about body and mind. And if something's impulsive, then we live in our body. When we think about it, then we start rationalizing it in our mind.
True.
I think that is what's cool about the hot seat questions. It's just out there without thinking about it or justifying it or why it should be or shouldn't be. Jasmine, I just want to say thanks for coming on to our show. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show and really inspirational and fun. Just a last question from our side is if viewers want to get in touch with you, if they want to get their kids on the homeschool, where do they do that? How do they get in touch with you?
Okay, so at the moment, the website is busy in the final stages of being launched and it's designed, but we do have our website so long. So that would be www.dynamictutoringza.co.za. And then they can also reach me on 076 790 1155. And then on our Instagram page, Dynamic Tutoring ZA.
Cool. And then we'll post all your stuff in our mastermind group as well. So just lastly, thanks for our mastermind members for joining. And thanks to all our other viewers that joined the show. Guys, that's in our WhatsApp group, in our private chats. I'll share the details in our Telegram group after the show. And if you want to get in touch with Jasmine as well, let me know, and then I'll put you guys in touch with her. But otherwise than that, Jasmine, thanks for coming on to the show.
Yeah.
Thanks, Eugene. Thanks, Billy. It's been an awesome experience. And I hope it was lovely catching up with you again, Eugene. And I hope this is going to be some benefit to some people who are entrepreneurs or wanting to take the leap into it. I mean, it's not an easy journey. You're going to work harder than you ever have before in your life and any job you've been in, but it's so worth it if you want to design the life you want to lead.
Yeah, so Jasmine,
work harder for less money and no time.
Exactly, there we go. But you're going to be happier and fulfilled.
Yeah, cool, Jasmine. Just from my side, thanks so much for taking some time out to come and chat to our viewers, and for everyone that's watching. Thanks so much for pitching up. Without you, there won't be any shows, and hopefully you've learned something today. And then the last thing that I want to say is, guys, watch this channel. We're going to be launching Bootcamp 2.0 soon, and we will be sharing some more information in that regards over the next couple of weeks. But other than that, guys, thanks for joining the show. Like and subscribe to our channels, and then, that's it.
And remember, go share. Click share.
Cheers. Cheers, guys.
Bye, guys.
Cheers, Jasmine. Bye.
Cheers.